Okay, the second half of this lesson is quadratic formula. So what happens if it's not factorable? So we were talking about earlier, if you can pick off the factoring very, very quickly, and there will be opportunities in which you can do this, but there'll be also occurrences where you're not going to be able to factor it, but it's still solvable. And then we use the quadratic formula. Now this goes back for some right to grade 10, some to last year, your quadratic formula. So maybe I'll set it up right. So for the quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. We can solve for x using the quadratic formula, and it's going to look like this. D squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And the a, b, and c, oops, just so you know where they come from. Okay, there's the a value. There's your b value. And then the c value. Ran out of color, so I'll go back to yellow, I guess. All right, so we're just taking the coefficients or the constant from the quadratic formula and we're plugging it in. So there's going to be a couple of occurrences or a couple of situations I want you to be aware of, and it deals with what we call the discriminant. So I'm just going to talk about that for a second before I move on to some examples. Discriminant. So your discriminant specifically is the b squared minus 4ac. Now that is underneath a radical or a square root sign. So what that tells you is that in order to have an answer, it needs to be a positive number. So when I do quadratic formula, I always do the discriminant first, because if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, so that would be a negative number, it would be a negative value, there's no solution. No solution. Case 2, if b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, all right, so it'd be a 0 value. There is one solution, and it was probably factorable. And finally, b squared minus 4ac greater than 0, then we end up with two distinct answers, or two distinct roots is what we call it. And for if there's people watching this, I know that this is not true. It's actually two equal real roots, but for the program that we're looking at here, it still comes out to be one answer. So although I want to keep it such that it's straightforward and simple rather than worrying about the semantics here. So you're going to get one answer out of this one. There are actually two equal real roots though. All right. So moving on to the examples, it's just practicing with that formula. So how do I handle this? For the first part, until you get back in the swing of things, okay, I'm going to label it as A, B, and C. I'm going to check my discriminant first. B squared minus 4ac is equal to negative 6 squared. You got to take the sign in front, so negative 6 squared minus 4 times 5 times 8. So 36 minus, what do we got here? 4 times 5, that would be 20 times 8, so negative 160. So it's going to be less than 0. It's going to be a negative answer, right? So 36, so that would be, if I took 40 away, it would be negative 120, so 124, negative 124. Oops. All right, so because the discriminant's negative, it means there's no solution. So previous teachers might have had you write it all out, the quadratic formula. I say go ahead and do the discriminant first, because in this case it's no solution, so there's no sense going ahead and doing the whole formula. All right, and then what's this time saver? Well, I'll show you over on this example number 2. B squared minus 4ac. So now I have, oops, should be 5 squared. So 5 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 4. So 25. It's going to be a positive. And it'll be 48. Positive 48. So add those together. You know, 3, so it'll be positive 73. So now when I go to the quadratic formula to solve this question, b squared minus 4ac over 2a, I go ahead and do my substitution. So it'd be negative 5 plus or minus square root of 73. Don't recalculate. Okay, and 2 times 3. So we're looking at negative 5 plus or minus square root of 73 over 6. And you have a calculator, so you can calculate out. I don't have a calculator handy, so that's the exact value. You can go ahead and calculate that out. But don't recalculate or don't show the calculation for b squared minus 4ac again. Just write out the 73 because you already did the calculation for it. So save some time. And it's a little bit more efficient that way. Last example, just quickly going through it. Same process. I'm going to check my discriminant first. So negative 1 squared minus 4 times 9 times negative 1. And again, just be careful. Okay? It's a negative 1, so you need to make sure the negative 1, the sign goes with it. All right? So we end up with 1. Negative 1 squared is a positive number, plus 36. So here again, we're going to have two solutions. So x equals negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So it would be 1 plus or minus square root of 37 over 2 times 9, so that's 18. And again, if you have a calculator, you can calculate it out. You'll have to do it anyway to check for check your answer, because all the answers are in decimals, not an exact value. All right. So there you go. Like I said, you've done all this before. This is not new to anyone in this class. You should have used solving by factoring and solving by quadratic formula. There's the assigned homework. If you have any questions, please let me know and we'll clear them up as soon as we can.